Magazine readers may have noticed this t-shirt. The RX7 in question belongs to California's Adam Sarawatari. We first met Adam at the SEMA show in Las Vegas and had a close look at his famous RX7. But the car is far more at home on a drag strip. At this track, Adam was attempting to beat his own record as the world's fastest stock chassis streetable RX7. After Adam's curry lunch, the pit crew were called in for cabin ventilation. The 10 seconds flat was half a second off his record. The 9.75 was his best for the day. So we paid a visit to ANL Racing, Adam's workshop, and found a wide selection of his own cars. We asked him to show us over the RX7.
This is ANL Racing, high-performance tuning shop. Right here, what's standing in front of me is a 1993 Mazda RX7, a Night Sports Type 4 body kit. The extreme paint job you see on this vehicle is provided by BASF. It includes Extreme Rainbow, which provides 7 different colors according to the aspect of light, and the car is painted once a year. The wheels you see on it are the brand new Enkei NT03s, and they are wrapped in Nitto NT 501s. The suspension is basically set up very much like a street or road race car, because this car is tested on the street and also used to do the quarter mile. Right here in the front, accenting the headlights, of course, is the Mamiya headlight kit. And tucked away in the front, you will see an Apex Skyline GTR intercooler core that was modified by new forms to work in this RX7. As you can see under the hood, we have varied some things basically to get increased power and performance. But the block itself has not changed. It's still a 13B with all stock internals. And it is not a Bridgeport motor. It is a street port. The port is designed by Rotary Power in Torrance, but the blocks are assembled here in-house. This uses 2mm seals, and everything else, of course, is stock. It makes about 550 horsepower to the ground, or about 630 horsepower to the flywheel. It has been modified. It used to have, of course, the sequential turbo setup, and now it is basically a single turbo. The fastest this car has run is 9.51 at 142 miles an hour. So it does pretty good for a little car. It uses 2 HKS sequential blow-off valves. The reason for that being that basically with only one close to the throttle gate, pressure would build up so high, lifting in between shifts, it would actually push the intercooler piping apart. Right here, if you look on the intercooler piping, you'll see 3 additional injectors, and the reason why that is because it uses a PMS piggyback computer system, which allows us to control the factory parameters. But supplying additional fuels basically are these injectors right here. 2 720cc's and 1 550cc injectors, and they are controlled by a Rebic 3 simulator. Down here we have the many options to plug in and disconnect and change various types of ignitions. Right here in the glove box you'll see a Greddy turbo timer, Rebic 3 simulator, and Rebic 3. There is also flush mounted an oil pressure gauge, an air intake gauge close to the throttle body. There is an Mamiya custom gauge bod with an SPI boost gauge on top. Right here on the pillar, there's an HKS Electronics P-Cold Warning boost gauge and P-Cold Warning EGT. In the center vent, we removed the air conditioning ducts. And actually what is now up there is a custom pod which holds an oil temp meter and water temp meter. Where the air conditioning controls used to be, you'll see a boost gauge and EGT. In the custom enclosure where the radio used to be, you will see an air intake gauge that actually reads air intake before the intercooler, not like the other Greddy gauge in the glove box, which is actually before the throttle body. There's a volt gauge and also a fuel pressure gauge. This side has been slightly modified to accommodate a G-Force 5-speed sequential shifter. On the center console there, you'll see that there is a JNS knock retard unit mounted there. Right here, this is actually a carbon fiber nitrous oxide bottle. It's about half the weight of the standard bottles you see. Since we still do put the car on the street and we still do a lot of development work for street cars, we've tried to maintain that balance that a street car has. You might look towards Turbo Magazine. The March issue will have a full feature on this and cover a lot of the technical aspects. It will go more into depth of what we see today.